Hello. If you hear any noise in the background, as you know, I have two dogs. They are finishing their breakfast. There's never a perfect quiet time to film, so we do the best that we can. Welcome to the channel. My name is Vicki. I'm the mayor's daughter. We are going to, my brain's glitching all over the place. I've not had enough coffee yet. We're going to play in the Delicious Delights palette from Cosmic Brushes. And I will show you. Oh my, I forgot how pretty this is. Yes, I like that. I keep seeing, and I get it because it's been 10 years. But you know, people saying that 2026 is the new 2016. And I keep kind of going, okay. And then I've seen people make references to, 2016 was the 80s. And then I keep going, okay, but not so much. I seen on Instagram, I think it was this morning, a girl did makeup like her mother who in 1984, was the year she graduated. It kind of inspired me just a little bit because I graduated in 1984. So one of the looks that we do is going to be similar to what I would have done for makeup that year. And I'm going to tell you, we didn't do all the crease work, all of that other stuff. We just didn't. We did a lot of blending. My makeup took 10 minutes back then. My hair took a lot longer. And yes, these are the little Kitsch rollers. I think I talked about them yesterday and I may have edited them out, but I will try to put that back into a short. I don't have the exact products that I used in high school. If you're interested in me doing that, I could probably get a hold of them. Pretty sure Maybelline still sells the palettes and everything except for the mascara that I personally used, and the eyeliners might be tricky. But if you'd like to see that, we can give it a go and get as close to it as we can. Miss Ella is in a mood this morning, so if you hear her whining, she's fine. She has just had breakfast. They have to have their nap time. They have to have their rest. So if she is going to just have a tantrum, she can just have a tantrum. Let's get into this look because I have been talking forever. Okay, we're going to take a number 2 Alter Ego fluffy brush and go into Milkshake. And just lay that down. Now remember, kind of doing an inspired by look of how I wore my makeup in high school. We didn't have primer. There was none of that stuff. So, you just kind of worked with what you had. And purples have always been one of my favorite shades. Now, we're going to take a Sephora 24 that's actually a crease brush and go right here into Charms. And we're kind of keeping, the inspo of how I did my makeup before I went to school every day. And I can't say that I went to school every day in 1984, although that's the year that I graduated. Let me back up. I was done with high school in 83. I went through ceremony and activities with my class. So I'm going to take, I'm not sure, I keep calling these maquillage brushes, but they may not be. That may not be the right name. I can't see them well enough to tell you. We didn't really do a lot with shimmer. That was not really a thing. But we're going to go into Jelly Bean tape that above the crease, or in the crease. It would have been above the crease when I was in high school. Now bear in mind, in 84, I was 17. 16 and 17. Now, I don't have the cut nor the curlers to recreate the hair. Okay, at this point in time, we're going to semi-cheat. And what I mean by semi, when I was in high school and I didn't work, it was drugstore makeup because that's what my mother bought for me, or what I was allowed to buy with my allowance and could afford. Whenever I started working, which was in 1984, that's kind of when we switched to Estee Lauder and Clinique and stuff like that. So for now, we are, we're going to use my 2-in-1 beige, and I'm going to do it like I did it then. I didn't have brushes. I had the little white sponges, and I did have some, but I don't know where they went to. But for the most part, we just put our foundation on. At least I did, with my fingers. And at that time too, see, I did not use any primer on my face because we didn't have it. This feels so unusual to do. We had like the Clinique, I can't think of what it's called, the yellow cream. And of course then, who knew? My shade was a lot darker because I stayed in the sun. So, yeah. And this feels weird to do with just fingers and no primer. It's going to cake like crazy. So we're going to fix it. Okay. I tried to use as much foundation as we would have back then. I have to be careful because there's no primer and there's older skin. So it does kind of get a little, quick. I cannot find my dark black liner, but what we would do at this point, before we used eyeliner, of course, you used it brows and all, had to take a lighter, hit that, because we used the red Maybelline liners, and you generally had a black and maybe a black brown. So you take it and get a really good you would get a good solid line underneath there. You didn't smudge it. You didn't put color back on it. You left it alone. Okay, this is not going to hold up as long as a double wear would because I didn't use any of the product that I normally do. So we're going to quickly get the rest of this done. I've talked with you before about how we did draping. And basically what it is real simple. And I'm dropping stuff crazy. Start with your big brush, the lightest shade, or you can do it the other way. It does not matter. We always had, I think they were CoverGirl. It had 3 colors. You take the lightest one, and you had the little Yeah, this is going to pull the foundation off. It's okay. Um, it's not dried down because there's just too much of it on my face. You had little brushes that came with the palette. Same with the eyeshadows. You use those little sponge applicator doohickeys. I don't know why we didn't have brushes. Q-tips and stuff. Q-tips were your friend. Those little white sponges that you can still get at the drugstore, they were your friend. This is really tearing my foundation up, but it's okay. And of course, I'm going to just take the same brush because it's already kind of gommed up. But you took the next shade and filled in lower. And this is catching in the foundation, and it normally would not do that, but I've got so much on. I had to go back in and pull another shade because that 2-in-1 just was a little pale for what we're doing today. This is a Sephora. We didn't have the cream blush, but you had a darker shade. And you just took that right down here to make your drape. And like I said, you could do the reverse of this. Mind you, at 18, my blush placement was completely different. Things looked a lot different then. We kind of toned that down just a little bit. Things are not cooperating with me today, so it is what it is. Skin prep. I'm 59. Skin prep is a whole lot different at 59 than it would be at 60 or 59. Yeah, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so I seen that the person that I seen that did the video used a lot of powder. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember using a lot of powder. I don't remember using powder really at all. Could partly be because I just don't remember it. It may be because I used Maybelline, I think, Maybelline or CoverGirl 1. Pretty sure it was Maybelline foundation and Max Factor foundation. And I just don't think that it required a powder. I don't remember ever using one. Not to say that I didn't. I just don't remember one. Now I used like the Maybelline, the things that I'm talking about. They're made something like this. They may still have them, but they were all powder. So I think that may be why I don't remember using powder, is because there was so much other powder in my routine. Again, I'm not saying that we didn't or that people that I went to school with didn't. I'm saying I can't remember using a face powder until way older. I'm going to use the Lash Paradise mascara. I'm trying to think. I think I used Great Lash. I can't remember if Great Lash has a waterproof formula. I was always a waterproof girl from the time that I figured out that they had such a thing, because much like today, whenever I did my makeup, I don't want to fool with it anymore. And during my school day, I was in band. There was a lot of things that I wanted everything to stay like it did. So anyway, I'm going to put on a little bit of mascara, and then we're just going to kind of come back and close out with some finishing thoughts. I have on a lip oil. I'm not going to put on a lipstick because my lips are dry. I stuck with like berries and red. Estee Lauder had a red lipstick at the time that I absolutely loved. I can't remember the name of it, but it was my absolute all-time favorite. And that's what I wore a lot of the times. And, you know, I'd kind of blot it down so that it wasn't so whah. But yeah, I used a lot of Revlon lipsticks, used a lot of Maybelline lipsticks. But once I started working, you know, like I said, my sister was working as a counter manager for Estee Lauder then, so I went to Clinique, I went to Estee Lauder, did more Clinique than Estee Lauder, kind of, but did both. One thing I forgot to mention, because this is something else that I see a lot of people that kind of are not getting it right, for lack of a better way of putting it. We didn't just use Aquanet. Some of us, that was about the time that mousse started coming out, and gel and stuff like that. I used, while my hair was wet, I used mousse on my hair. Then I would blow dry it, roughly 45 minutes to an hour. And then I would roll it with hot rollers. Okay? While it was cooling, I had Rave hairspray. I'd hit it with that Rave. And then, when I took the rollers out, I'd hit it again with the Rave. And then I bend over and brush my hair forward, and then where this part of my head is, while my hair was over, you know, where I brushed it over and bending over in front of me, I would spray the back part of my hair. Then I'd pull my hair back, run my hands through the curls, hit it again with either the Rave or the Aquanet, and then I would hold my head really, really still, collect my books, and walk down the hill. At points it was a mud pit, and when we first moved down there, it was nothing but mud where they had to grade to build the house. And so I had to walk down the hill with a pair of shoes on, switch to the pair of shoes that I was going to wear to school, and I'd leave the other ones in a bag on a fence post. But yeah, this is a look inspired by, minus the hair, because I'm just going to tell you, I do not have the cut or five hot rollers, 5 sets of hot rollers to complete the actual look. If I can remember, I will try to find a picture where you can see the hair, because I had the hair going on. I did not tease my hair. I didn't have to. I was born with big hair. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Inspired by how I wore my hair in school, or wore my makeup in school, or in 1984. Have a great day. I'm the mayor's daughter. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.